Okay, next we're going to look at simplifying radicals. And this relates to moving from an entire radical to a mixed radical. And then we can also, at the same time, we can think about what does it mean to go from a mixed radical to an entire radical. So an entire radical would be something where we have just one radical sign and there's no coefficient. On the other hand, a mixed radical would look like this. So that's an entire radical. A mixed radical would look like maybe something like this, 3 root 5. So there's your coefficient. And there is your radical. So I think typically we're looking to go from an entire radical to a mixed radical for reasons we'll get into in another tutorial. But so first of all, let's see what that looks like. Let's check out an easy one. Say, let's try square root of 50. If we want to make this into a mixed radical, we have to find a factor that is a perfect square. And I happen to know that 50 is equal to 2 times 25, and 25 is a perfect square. So what this would look like is square root of 50 is equal to square root of 25 times 2. And that can be rewritten as two radicals being multiplied. And square root of 25 is 5, so that's 5 times root 2. And we usually rewrite this without the multiplication dot. We just go 5 root 2. So that equals the square root of 50. We could try another one. Let's try square root of 72. So I happen to know that 72 is equal to 36 times 2. So I can rewrite this as, I can split that into two radicals, and the square root of 36 is 6. So there's square root of 72 simplified or written as a mixed radical. Now, it's possible that someone wouldn't immediately see that that's their best way to factor the 72. So a person might go, okay, well, 72 is equal to, maybe they'd go 18 times 4. So then they go, okay, well, square root of 72, is equal to the square root of 4 times the square root of 18. So you get 2 root 18. But then square root 18, that's not, that can be simplified as well. 18 is 9 times 2, so you get 2 times square root of 9 times 2. That's 2 times square root of 9 times square root of 2. And square root of 9 is 3, so we get 2 times 3 times root 2, and that's 6 root 2. So there's lots of ways to get from this to this. But really what we're looking for, look for a factor in the radicand. And the radicand is the part inside the radical. So that is the radicand. So we're looking for a factor in the radicand that is the largest perfect square. Let's try another one. I don't know, let's square root of 60 maybe. So 60, for sure that can be simplified, I think. 30 times 2. Yeah, 4 goes into that, right? Yeah, so the best we could do with it, I think this is 4 times 15. Yeah, so we can go square root of 4 times 15. So that's square root of 4 times square root of 15. So that's 2 root 15. What's another one? How about we can also simplify cube roots. So um, let's try 24. The cube root of 24. So instead of looking at for the largest perfect square, we're looking for the largest perfect cube. So if we look at our perfect cubes, I have a list here somewhere. We have 2 to the power 3 is 8, so that's a perfect cube. So 8 is a factor in 24, so this is equal to cube root of 8 times 3. So that's equal to cube root 8 times cube root of 3, and that's equal to 2 cube root 3. You could do other ones as well, like I'll have to work backwards here. So what's 3 times 3? 9. So 9 times 9 is 81. Okay, so let's think about the fourth root of 81. Well, that's made up of 3 times 3 times 3 times. So that's equal to 3. So then if you had what's 81 times 2? So that's 162. So if you had the cube root, or sorry, the fourth root of 162, that could be simplified by doing this. 3 to the power 4 times 2, that's equal to 3 fourth root 2. There you go. That is a summary of simplifying radicals or going from entire radicals to mixed radicals. We can also go the other way. We could go from maybe say 3 root 3. What would that look like as an entire radical? Well, 3 can be represented as 3 squared, but the square root of that. So that's equal to the square root of 9. So 3 root 3 is equal to square root of 9 times square root of 3, which is equal to the square root of 27. Let's try a different one. Let's do 4 root 5. So that's the equivalent to the square root of 4 squared times the square root of 5. So 4 squared is 16. So 16 times 5, carry the 3, that's 80. So this is equal to the square root of 80. You can try that with the cube root as well. Let's try 2 cube root 4. So that's the same as, cube root of 2 cubed times the cube root of 4. So that is equal to 2 cubed is 8. So this is cube root of 8 times 4. So this is the cube root of 32. There you go. That's how you convert from a mixed radical to an entire radical.